Okay, so one of the first things you're going to do once you log in and sign up or whatever it is you need to do to get into Powtoons, you'll see down the right hand side here the 3-step process for creating a video with Powtoons. I highly recommend you follow this process with if you're going to make the video or with your students to really make sure that they create a quality video at the end. I've tried it different ways before and I've just struggled. It's a big struggle. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that the students write their script and decide what it is that they're going to actually say in the video. Then you want them to record that. So they can record that on their computer, on their phone, wherever they like. Just a simple voice recorder. And then you want it to be accessible as an MP3 to be uploaded. The last thing, and the thing I'm going to walk you through today, is the adding of visuals. So on this page, you'll see at the top here that you can make a Powtoon. So you can simply click the explainer video and you'll see there's a few examples here. I'm going to click more. And that then brings me to all these templates that I could possibly use when I'm talking about explainer. You'll see some of these say Pro Plus, which means you're going to pay for them. Others do not. I'm just going to click this whiteboard one and click use. So once it loads, you'll get basically what looks like a PowerPoint. So you'll have slides down the left-hand side here, and then your slides in here. The difference with Powtoons really is that you can get these things to move all over the place. You can view the timeline, and I highly recommend you turn this on as soon as you get in here. And then you can add stuff from the right hand side. So what we're going to do to start with is just have a look at editing one that's already here. So you can see here when things come in. So if I select that, that'll highlight the 4 things that come in at that second, and then these 5, and then these ones, and then these ones down here with the subtitle. Okay. So if I choose to, and I don't like one of these images, let's say I don't like this little one here, I can choose this little symbol that says swap. If I select that, it'll then load all the stuff over here. Okay, this is a basic shape, so I'm going to click shapes, just a basic one here, and it's going to drop down, and I can scroll through all the different shapes that exist for that section. And let's say I wanted this this diamond instead, so I can click that, and that'll replace it. Same size, same location, entering at the same time, etc. I can then change the color if I want to. I can click here and change that to a bright yellow color or to a red color, for example. And then that'll change my diamond to red, and this will flip my image, okay, which won't be overly obvious here. But that's how you change something. And that's the same even for characters. So if I select this slide that's next, it has a character here. Now characters have a few more things. So they have poses as well. So I can select here and have him talking. I can have him waving and saying hello. At the moment, he's angry about something. If I want to have him sitting at a desk typing on a computer, I can sort that out for him as well. There are poses. Again, I can swap him out and I can flip him. If I click the flip, you'll see he'll face the other way on the flip. So I'm going to put him back the way he was because it's definitely more appropriate. And then for adding text, just double click it. You can edit that text. And if you want to remove something, all you have to do is highlight it and press the button delete, and it will disappear. So that's kind of your basic aspects of things. Down here, if you want to change when things come in, you simply select it down here, or you can even just select it up here. So if I want this cross bit to come in a bit earlier, down here I just drag it. So I can drag the line, I can click the bit at the bottom as well and drag it. I can change how it enters as well. So I see this pop enter effect, and that'll come up here too. So I can do it down here. I can click that, and I can change how it comes in or how it goes out. Okay. If I want, I can even add a hand so that when it comes in, a hand's going to go over it, basically to make it pop up with a hand. Okay. Or I can select the item. So let's say I select this item. I can then select settings for it, and then effects. So this is my effects of, I want it to be written in, or I want it to be typed in. Down here, appear word by word, scale it in, roll it in, etc. Okay, let's say I want that one to be handwritten. Okay, so I select that. I can then select over here exit. I want it to slide right, for example. Okay, now you can see over here that before it was there, now it's moved, so that it actually has that exit effect. You can do that to multiple things at once if you like. So if I select this one with 9, okay, I can then go to the end here, drag that in one. And then select how all 9 of them are going to exit. Okay, so they can all exit by sliding left if I want to. At the moment, they're all going to pop down. Okay, and so they're my changes that I can make quite simply, just dragging it around for when it comes in. If you want more time on your slide, you simply press the plus button here and it will add more time to your slide as you go. Now I've just added up to 20 seconds, so that's how long a slide can be. But once you get to 20 and you go here, you're going to have this pop-up come up and you want to click continue. If you want this slide to go for more than 20 seconds, 40 seconds, up to a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, you just click continue onto the next slide, and however that slide finished, whatever that looks like at the end of the slide, it'll then create a new slide with all of that on it. So there were 3 things that were still on it at the end, and then if I select it, you'll see it'll still fade out fairly soon. I can then drag that and it'll last the whole scene. Okay, I can reduce my time here because I don't want it to go for 20 seconds now. I just want this scene to go for 3 or whatever it is. Okay, so I can reduce my time, I can add my time, and I can duplicate the ending of the slide to continue it, which is a new feature really for Powtoons, which is, I think, an excellent feature. If you want, you can also use the grid view. So if I go down here, I particularly care about things lining up. For example, I can turn on the grid and then I can make sure everything is in the right spots lining up with each other. Okay, editing text again, etc, etc. Now, what I want to do now is I'm going to actually add, so you'll see this, I can add a slide straight underneath this one. I can duplicate this slide. I can continue this scene on a new slide below, or I can save this slide to my scenes, which means that I can then repeat the slide over and over again. So if I want to use this slide at the beginning and then the same slide at the end and come back to it, I can save it and then just duplicate it again. So I want to just add a slide right now. And this gives me a blank slide. Now with this blank slide, if I go up here, I can select some scenes for it. And so if I want an intro scene, I can drop that down and I can select any of these scenes. But I may not want to do it by scene. I may want to do it by background. And so I might have a look here at some of the backgrounds. So let's have a look at some locations. And I want this tile to have this scene. So I'll select that and it gives me the scene for my character. I can then build this all up slowly. So wherever my black diamond triangle down the bottom here is going is the time at which my things will come in. Okay, so right now if I want to add a character to this scene, I'm going to use a sketching character who is filled in. So there's a sketching outline, which means you can see through them. This one will be filled in. Okay, and these are my characters that I can pick. So I want this young lady to come in and I want her to come in and be sad. Okay, so I'm going to click that one and here she is, she's in here sad. I can resize her, make her bigger. If I click this, I can spin her if I want to, but that doesn't quite make sense at this point for this character. So I'm going to put her back where she was. And if I make a mistake, I can always go up the top here and click undo as well. So here again, I can change my pose, etc. I can have her walk if I want to. So she's going to slide in, you can see here from the right, and then she's going to continue throughout the scene. And she will be sad the whole way through. Now, that's my scene. If I then want to add other things to this scene, so let's say I want her to come in and maybe I am going to stick some office stuff in there. I might choose to put a box or whatever in there. If there's something in particular I want to find, I can go up here and search for it. So if I want to add, let's say, a table into this scene, I can just search for table, and then up will come all the tables. Now these are the tables at the top that are related to my whiteboard look, but then underneath it's from all looks. And so if I wanted to potentially add color to this scene, I could do that as well. Or I could use it in backgrounds, etc. And this gives you how many searches come up in all the other spots. Okay, so let's say I'm going to add this coffee table. And you can see it's come in where my pointer was and it's just popped into the middle. So I'm just going to slide that. I want that to be there. Okay, just sitting right there. I don't want it to pop up. What I actually want is for it to not have an entrance effect, so no effect. And I'm going to slide it to the very beginning so that it's actually there from the start of the scene. I might then choose to put, let's say, a cup on that table, but that cup is going to appear as I talk about things. For some reason, that's just search security when I wrote cup. Cup cup. And so let's put a mug in there. Okay, so I can drag it in there as well if I want to. And there's my mug that's sitting on the table already, a nice big one. I don't like the direction of it. I want it to be facing towards her, the handle. So that's then there, and that's going to pop up as we go. And so now I've created this scene. I can preview the scene. I can just press play, and it will preview. She pops in. There's the coffee. Okay. And if I want it to be short, I can reduce this. This is just sound. Sound can be done by just doing it over one particular slide. So I can do a voiceover just over the slide, or I can do it over the whole video. I highly recommend that you actually just do it over the whole video. Have your students record their entire audio before they start doing this. And in fact, I would not let them into Powtoons until they've done their recording, because students tend to get distracted by all this when they should be doing something else. Now, if I don't like this, up here I've got a little settings tab as well, so I can flip the whole scene so that it's actually the other way around. I'll flip that back though, because I liked it where it was. I can change the color of it, so if I want it to be gray, it'll then give me a gray background. If I want it to be yellow, so it'll be ugly yellow on the background. Okay, but notice how if I pick the color, it's actually gotten rid of my scene. So I'm actually going to click undo and undo to get my scene back. Okay, at any point in time when you're in here, you can always click take a tour, and it will also tell you how you want to create your video and give you some extra tips. Here is your view, so you can have horizontal, square, or you can make a vertical video. So it really just depends on what kind of media people are going to be watching this on. But basically, you're going to go through and do all your editing there. The last thing that I do is add sound. So there's two different types of sound. I don't want cup sound, but I just want normal sound. So for some reason, I've just selected romantic. But if I scroll to the top here, I've got my music. And that's what your students are going to need to do. So they're going to click my music and they're going to add music, and they're going to upload some music from their computer. Okay, and so they just need to find some voice narrations or something within what you've got and upload them. I often email things to myself, and so there's a good chance that it will be in my downloads if I have an audio here. So any of these audio files, okay, see how they're all MP3s, can go up. You'll see down here, it tells you the accepted format, so MP3, AAC, or AGG. MP3 is definitely the most easy and most accessible for most devices. If you have something that's M4A or something, you can easily convert that online. Just search for an MP3 converter and then upload that file, and it will convert it. So let's say I'm going to put cancer in there. I'll just click upload, or actually cancer's already there, so let's not upload it. I can close that, so it'll just take a while to upload, but here's my cancer here. I click use, and now that goes across everything. So that's on my entire Powtoon up here, and that's there. I can also go through and select music. So this is my music actually. I needed to do that as a voiceover because you're only allowed to do one voiceover and one music. So let's say I'm going to do responsibility. I'm going to click use, okay, over the entire Powtoon, use. Right, and now I've got that and cancer. Now I don't want cancer as my music, so I'm going to go back and select some other music. Okay, so let's scroll down here. I actually really like the happy music, and you can check these, so I can press play and just see what it sounds like. I think one of the most popular ones is A Good Day for a Thing. It's got the nice poppy beat to it. I'm going to click use, and that'll then apply it across my entire Powtoon again. Now, it's very important at this point that you actually play these together and have a listen to what it sounds like, and you'll notice that it's actually too loud, the music, as they put it over. Stop that. You can do the adjusting as it plays. Let's say it's playing, I can grab this and just bring it down to where I want it, and quite often I put it quite low because I only want it playing in the background. I don't want it to take over the entire thing. Okay, so that's that. Play together, done. Now, if you want to preview your whole Powtoon, you can click preview. Notice there how that just saved. Powtoons is great. It saves things as you go. Every time you adjust something, it'll notice and then save it. But that's really essentially the process that I use. You can add extra slides. You can add transitions too in between things. So if you want it to fan, this is just like PowerPoint in terms of how you have it change. You can do a clipboard type style. You can do a hand style where it drags down. So there's lots of different choices, and it shows you what each of these look like as you go through. So they're quite easy to really work with. So that's really it. The last thing you do is you click export. But here is what I normally do. I normally download as an MP4. You can share it straight onto social media, but I normally just click MP4. It'll then ask you to give it a category. So I always select education. There's your name for it. What are you going to call it? You can add descriptions, you can add tags to it, etc. I normally leave things as unlisted, but you can make them public so anyone can view your Powtoon on the Powtoons website. You then click next, and then it'll ask you for your quality of the video. Now, if you're using a free account, you won't get much choice here. And then I just click download. Now what that'll then do is generate a MP4 video. It'll take it a while to do that. It'll give you, a quick look. So I'm just going to ignore this and click on my Powtoons here. Once it exports, you need to find it here. Click the drop down, and then see here manage exports. And in your manage exports, you'll then see it says file creation in progress. Once it's done, that will actually say download video, and it'll send you an email once it's done as well to say that you should now go back and you can download your video. It's been created. If you want to share your video, you can just select a size to embed it, okay, and then it will copy and paste that into a website or something like that, and it will be embedded there. You can share it on all your social media stuff, and this is the information that you have put into your video.